Hi, this is Michael Atma and welcome to 30-minute SEO and getting clients. Now in this particular video, what I'm going to be going through is something that I call the ultimate success formula. And what this is all about, it's about getting your mind in the right place of thinking and moving in the right direction to support you building a 5-figure or 6-figure or even 7-figure SEO business for yourself. One of the most powerful things about this program, and especially about the client getting strategies you're going to be given right now, is that these are all tried, tested and proven by us to work to generate a 7-figure business. Now the first 7 strategies we're going to be going through in the next video are going to be what I call the fast start strategies. These are ones that you can use to get out there today and generate clients as soon as tomorrow or within 24 hours. And most excitingly, what we're going to be sharing with you is our high-end client getting strategies, which I call it magnetic marketing, or getting leads sent to you via referrals on autopilot. And that is so exciting because just in those strategies alone, you can build a 100% referral-based business that'll generate you 5 or 6 figure income easily on their own. Alrighty, so let's get started here with the ultimate success formula. So what's that all about? Okay, the number one reason most people fail at making a full-time income from home is, and I just want you to think about that before we move on to the next slide. What do you think it is? Why do you think it is that so many people get started and are so passionate and motivated and driven to want to make this succeed and work with offline clients and build a successful online marketing business to offline clients and local business and have a better lifestyle, and yet let's say 95% of people that get started won't succeed? Why do you think that is? Well, let's have a look. The number one reason is they fail to plan. Okay, and as the quote says here, people don't plan to fail. They simply fail to plan. So all the way through this particular part of the training or program, what I'm going to be doing is giving you action steps to take. And as long as you do those action steps, you are going to get success. I promise and guarantee you that. Because nobody achieves success without doing a certain amount of activity that helps them to achieve that success. All right, so we need to have a plan in order to know where we're headed, so that we can create the desired outcome for ourselves. All right, so what can we do about failing to plan? Let's have a look. The first step is to know your why. Now, what do I mean by that? By why, I mean you need to know your reason for wanting to create a full-time income from home. It's that simple. What I found is if you don't know what your reason is, if you don't have a very powerful why, and look, another word for why is purpose. If you don't have a powerful reason, a powerful why, a powerful purpose, or another way of saying that, a powerful emotional driver, then you probably won't achieve it, or you probably won't end up where you want to be. And a good example of that is, let's say you've already got a good income stream coming from some other internet marketing projects that you're already involved in, and you're making, say, 4 or 5 figures a month. You may not be as motivated to work with offline clients and to build a business through SEO simply because you've already got a fairly steady income coming in and you're quite happy with that. So, typically there would not be a big reason, a big motivator for you to want to make that extra money unless, you attach that extra income to a particular goal or a particular purpose that you have in mind. My why, as an example to show you how whys work, my biggest why when I got started was 2 reasons. I had 2 very powerful whys. Number one is, many years ago, over 10 years ago now, I was pretty much bankrupt, and I was on the street. I was knocking on people's doors to make enough money to even eat, and I was in a very bad place. My confidence was gone at that time. I'd had a series of bad circumstances and events happen in my life, and I just ended up in a really, really bad place. So, and it was a very humbling experience for me, but it was also a very painful and scary one, because I remember sitting down every night trying to find a warm place to sleep, and, pretty much shaking and rocking back and forth and trying to shake myself to sleep because I couldn't sleep. I was that scared about tomorrow and paying bills and where was I going to get the money to eat and all that kind of stuff. And that was a very, very hard time for me. So I had two very powerful whys. One was the pain of having experienced being dead broke and never wanting to go back there again. And the other powerful why I had was because I ended up getting back into working full-time in a job, and I absolutely hated working in a job. Absolutely hated it with a passion. I hated having bosses. I hated traveling to work. I hated being told what to do, when to do it. And more importantly, I hated not having the freedom to live the kind of life I knew I could have, be, and do. So that were my two powerful driving forces. So what I need you to do right now is take a moment and stop this video and write down what is your why. What is your most powerful driving force that's going to keep you focused, that's going to keep you committed, that's going to keep you energized, that's going to make sure that when you don't feel like going out and talking to a client, when you don't feel like doing something, you're going to go and do it anyway because you have to, because you must, because there's no other way but to succeed. And there's no other outcome but for you to get what you want from this program. All right, so take a moment now, stop the recording and write down your most powerful reason why. All right, welcome back. Now the second step is to set an income goal. And by the way, if you didn't write down your why, pause this and go ahead and do it. I can't stress how important that is to do that. If you don't do that, seriously, it's going to have, it's not going to be, this course will not be as powerful for you. You won't be as driven as you could be. So just take a moment to go back and do that if you didn't do it. And so now the second step is to set an income goal. And this is kind of something that I stumbled upon. In fact, how I came across this particular philosophy is that quite a few years down the track, I wanted to set up another business. So, and this time it was a coaching business, and I started working on my coaching business, and I had a certain amount of success, but then I got stuck at a certain level, and I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get beyond it. So I hired myself a coach, and my coach said to me, "Well, how much money do you want to make this year?" And I said, "I don't know. I've never thought about it." And he said, "Well, there's your problem." He said, "You need to set financial goals in order to achieve them." He said, "There's no such thing as failure to plan, only planning to fail. So that we don't plan to fail, we just fail to plan." And I hadn't planned my income, my financial income goals that I wanted to achieve. So I started doing that, and it was amazing. My first goal was to double my hourly rate. And, I achieved that within 60 months for clients to be paying me double what I was already getting paid. And then I decided to add a zero to my income for the next year, and I achieved that as well, on top of what I was already achieving. So that took me from 5 figures to 6 figures. So, and so it really does work, and it's very powerful. So, again, take a moment to stop the recording and write down what your personal income goal is. And the best way to think about this is, what kind of money do you need to replace your full-time income? If you're working full-time, well, what kind of money do you need on a monthly basis to pay all your expenses and still live a good quality of life? For me, when I got into working with offline clients, and I at that point had my full-time job, I needed to replace $5,000 a month